Talking about, we talked to Jody about losing some key seniors for her. For you, it's got to be that and more. In all of your coaching, have you ever had an experience where you lost all 5 of your starters?
I can't remember back in history with Lumberjack basketball losing the entire starting lineup, all 5 players, to graduation, which we're proud of. However, we're faced with a difficult task in replacing not just one but all 5.
When you talk about, I remember all the things we talked about last year, and you talked about the senior leadership and how much you were depending on those guys. Now, who does the responsibility fall to with all 5 of those guys gone?
Yeah, in retrospect, you look back at last year, and we made that big change and went with those 5 seniors, and that resulted in 11 out of 12 victories down the stretch of, which was a difficult conference regular season last year. So we're very proud of that change that we made last year. To replace those 5 is our task at hand. We like our prospects. It's a very competitive camp right now. It's very competitive practice sessions we've had yesterday, and we look forward to today and continuing on until our first exhibition game.
And you talked about the seniors last year and how much they mean to it. How about some seniors this year? Austin Bryan is going to be a senior this year. How much are you depending on him and guys like Matt Lipsky and things like that?
Yeah, Austin Bryan is our go-to guy. He's a scorer. He's a guy who can put up the 3. He can also hit mid-range. He's strong. He's a different player than he was last year in that his knees fully recovered. So he's much more athletic. He can do more things than just shoot the basketball.
And I just have a game in 9 days, and that's season coming up really quick. How prepared do you feel this team is ready for a game in 9 days?
We're excited about the early arrival of our first game. We needed to schedule this particular game against Pacific Union College to prepare for what would be a bigger stage in front of probably 13,000 people down in Arizona. So we needed to get some experience under our belt before we head on the road to Wildcat Country down in Tucson, and therefore, I'm sure they'll be ready. They'll be excited, like we will be very excited to play at Arizona in the 31st of October. So we're looking forward to this matchup coming next Thursday night, and it should be a good test very, very early for us.
How much, especially in preseason with so many new guys, how much is it about just teaching the system, and how much is it trying to get them just acclimated to playing with one another?
It's a very difficult task in that we have so many new faces on our roster. We're trying to teach them Lumberjack basketball, up-tempo, fast-paced, shoot in transition, play winning basketball, share the ball, do what we do. And that's something that they're having a full-fledged dosage down their throat here in the last couple days.
Obviously last year, DJ Broom, your senior point guard was such a huge part, not only, in terms of how you guys played, but just kind of the emotional aspect. I mean, what kind of hole does that leave you guys to try and fill, going forward, in preseason and then as the season rolls on?
Yeah, there's no way to replace DJ Broom. He wasn't a small player. He was a different dimension, and he brought so many valuable tangibles to our game as a team. We won't be able to replace him just because of his size and his stature and his heart. However, we're very excited about Cody Kale, the Yuba City Junior College transfer who's played at the state competition level last year going to the championship game. Very excited about his demeanor, his toughness, and his ability to stay focused without being shaken. I think he's going to be solid throughout the game, whether we're up 20 points or down 20 points. And then contrasting to him, we have Brandon Woods, who is a prolific player. He's a playmaker. He can do some things in transition that I think most players at our conference level won't be able to do. He's special that way.
And I mean, just looking at your roster, it seems like you have a couple 6'7" guys, and that's about it. I mean, is size kind of an issue that you're kind of looking at this year that might be a problem going forward into conference play, where teams usually have a guy who's 6'9", 6'10"?
We're not as tall and heavy as we were last year on the roster, but that bodes well for our style of play. We'll be able to press and shoot in transition and run more effectively with faster players. And it's my job to get them in those right positions and let them learn the system.
That's all I got.
There you go.
All right, thanks.